Welcome to part 4 of this video series that describes completing a horizontal bar stock engine restoration. In the last video I reassembled the engine. I had originally wanted to time the engine and air test it in this video, however, I came across a problem with the valve that I needed to correct. When turning the engine I had a tight spot as the crosshead reached the end of its travel. After investigation I found that the pin holding the little end to the crosshead was fouling the crosshead guide, so I swapped it with the pin holding the valve rod and eccentric rod together. This solved the fouling problem. I took the engine over to the air supply and attempted to time it. There was a significant issue with the valve as there was a constant hiss of air coming from the exhaust. This was significant enough to not be able to hear the air change ports at each end of the valve's travel. This photo shows the valve in the steam chest. The valve is not loose on the valve rod, which means getting a seal between the valve and port face will be difficult since the valve is not able to move freely and be held to the port face with air pressure. The valve had been made from a scrap block of steel and had various imperfections on it. A concerning issue was a hole in the passage where the valve rod connects to the valve. This photo shows this hole. It could have been sealed with pipe sealant, however, I decided that I would make a more traditional valve arrangement for the engine. I made a dome for the end of the steam chest that will hold the valve rod parallel while it reciprocates. This clip shows me parting the dome off. After turning the piece around in the chuck, I turned down the hex part to 1/4 inch for a length of 1/4 inch and then put 1/4 40 threads per inch thread on the dome. I then center drilled 0.110 inches to a depth of 0.7 inches and trimmed the excess thread off the dome. This completed making the dome for the valve rod. This photo shows the finished dome mounted on the steam chest. I created some workshop techniques videos for parts made for this project. This helps reduce the length of videos and may be a useful reference for beginners in the hobby. This photo shows a slide valve and nut that I made for the engine. I created a workshop techniques video on how I made them. I'll put a link to the workshop techniques video in the description below. This photo shows a clevis or fork end I made for the valve rod. Again, I made a workshop techniques video on how to make this. I'll put a link to the workshop techniques video in the description below. This photo shows the valve rod I made for the steam chest. Again, I made a workshop techniques video on how to make this. I'll put a link to the workshop techniques video in the description below. Here's the valve assembly in the steam chest. It operates very smoothly. I think I'll leave this video here as I have some touch-up painting to do and reassembly of the engine. I'll do these off camera. So, that's the issues I had with the slide valve resolved. I ended up making a completely new slide valve assembly. In the next video I'll time the engine and run it on air. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to support my channel. Thank you.